He left home as a soldier and returned a silent hero. His name was Michael, just an ordinary boy raised in the quiet stretches of rural Texas, where the mornings smelled of dew and the evenings burned gold with sunsets. As a child, he'd run through the cornfields barefoot, his laughter mixing with the songs of the cicadas. His father, a mechanic, taught him how to fix engines, while his mother, a schoolteacher, taught him kindness. But for Michael, the small town always felt too small for his big dreams. He'd stare at the skies, watching military planes cut across the horizon, imagining the stories he'd one day live. At 19, driven by patriotism and a restless heart, he enlisted. His family was proud, yet fearful. On the day he left, his mother clung to him at the station, her tears soaking into his uniform, while his father gave him a firm handshake, hiding his trembling lips behind the brim of his old work cap. Michael boarded that bus, staring back only once, burning their faces into his mind, unsure when he'd see them again. Boot camp stripped him down and rebuilt him. He learned discipline, precision, and silence. Then came deployment. Afghanistan, a world away from the peaceful life he'd known. The deserts stretched endless, the sun unforgiving, and the nights were filled with tension thicker than the air itself. Michael's unit became his new family, brothers bonded not by blood, but by shared fear and the need to survive. They laughed together between missions, sharing stories of home, yet each mission risked turning those memories into final farewells. Michael saw things no one should see, felt fear so deep it etched itself into his bones, and lost friends he once joked with hours before. Each loss weighed heavier than the last. Letters home became fewer, shorter. What could he write? How could he explain nightmares without faces, or why he flinched at loud noises? His words felt hollow, unable to bridge the gulf between the battlefield and home. Yet, through every bullet dodged, an explosion survived, Michael kept going. He didn't view himself as brave, just lucky, or cursed, depending on the night. After years that felt like lifetimes, Michael's service ended. He boarded a plane back to Texas, carrying only his duffel bag and memories he wished he could leave behind. His family greeted him with tears and open arms, yet as they embraced the boy they remembered, they quickly saw the man war had forged. His eyes no longer sparkled with youthful dreams. His smile was reserved, cautious, almost foreign. Back in his hometown, Michael became a quiet figure. People celebrated him, called him a hero, but he avoided ceremonies and parades. He declined interviews, unable to translate the war's silence into words. He worked at his father's mechanic shop, fixing engines with steady hands that once gripped rifles. His nights were long, sleep rarely came easy. He'd sit on the porch, staring into the dark fields, haunted by memories he couldn't outrun. Neighbors watched, whispered, tried to understand why their golden boy now lived behind invisible walls. Yet, slowly, Michael found purpose in small acts. He coached the local Little League team, where boys learned from his silent example more than his rare words. When storms hit, he was the first helping to repair damaged roofs, expecting no thanks. He volunteered at the Veterans Hall, not speaking of his own battles, but listening to others who needed to share. His mother often sat beside him at dusk, their silences comforting each other in ways conversations never could. One day, a child in town, curious and unfiltered, asked Michael if he had been scared in the war. For a long moment, Michael said nothing, his gaze distant. Then softly he replied, "Every day." But I kept going. That simple admission rippled through the town more powerfully than any speech. From that day, people understood. Michael didn't share his story because it wasn't a tale of glory. It was a struggle to keep walking through shadows most couldn't see. He was a hero not for fighting battles overseas, but for surviving the ones inside his mind. Over the years, Michael became the town's quiet cornerstone. His silence taught resilience, his presence comforted, and his rare words carried the weight of wisdom earned through pain. Children who once feared him grew to admire him, following him as he repaired engines, soaking in lessons beyond machinery. People stopped asking about the war, realizing they didn't need to hear his story to respect it. They honored him, not with parades, but with quiet nods, with understanding glances as he passed by. Michael never saw himself as a hero. He was just a man who went to war, survived, and tried each day to live. Yet to those around him, he embodied a strength that didn't shout, didn't boast, but stood unbroken against life's relentless storms. He left home as a soldier and returned a silent hero. But in his silence, he became something even greater. a symbol of quiet strength, proof that even the most shattered souls can still stand tall, still give back, and still find peace, even if only in fleeting moments under the Texas stars. And in that small town, his story, though largely unspoken, lived in every act of kindness, every repaired engine, every child he taught to persevere. Michael's silence wasn't the absence of a story, it was the story itself. And though he never spoke it, everyone listened.